It feels like I've been moving for years, but I have no idea how this began. The last thing I remember was the bright white light. I feel the cold, icy leaves underneath my feet. I feel the wind infecting my skin with cold. Where am I? Why am I moving forward? Why do I feel the need to move forward? As I move, I look down at my arm and I brandish the word serum. The forest ends and I come to a road. A road that hasn't been used since the snow fell. The road runs adjacent to a cliff edge. And beyond that cliff edge is a vast forest. A forest of only dead trees. You can smell the death from here. Beyond the forest in the distance, I can see the orange glow of flames. I remember so little of why I'm here, but I remember the day they came. I remember being separated from my wife. I remember being separated from my daughter. I start my move and move up the road. The interesting fact about freezing to death is you'd assume your entire body would freeze at once, but all I can feel is my veins crashing. Throbbing sensation, like they were becoming nothing but ice. I start to move faster. Through the sleet and the mist, I see something up ahead. At this point, my only thought is that someone may have survived up here. However, as I approach what looks like a mansion, there appears to be no light. Hello! As I move closer, I see a large wooden door. Huge windows either side. Help! Some of which have been smashed. I reach the door, but before I can raise my frozen hand to knock, I notice that the door is already ajar. I push the door open. I move inside. The wind pulls the door behind me and it slams. Hello? The room in front of me is pitch black, but the moon shines through the broken windows beside me, and I notice a table with a gas lantern on it. The gas lantern works. Can anyone help me? The first thing I notice is the floor. A checkered floor of black and white. And as I move forward, the room grows larger and larger. The light of the lantern barely penetrates a few meters around me. I keep walking straight. Moments later, I reach a small table on which are two switches. One of them has a card next to it. 3, 1, 12, 12. The other has no marking. I switch the unmarked switch. Suddenly, the room is illuminated with light like I've never seen before. I don't understand it. Lights too bright for gas to emit. However, I look around and I realize that these lights aren't the natural lights. The lights on the wall are still not lit. The lights that are currently on have lines running between them. They have wires of some sort. I don't understand it. There are so many of them. In my imagination, I assume that someone was trying to renovate this property. But who would know their physics or their science enough to create such wondrous lights? I bring my eyes down to the floor level. I notice the floor is covered in dust and leaves. I'm assuming because of the broken window. The room is a large hall with a grand staircase that splits in the middle, and with two hallways that lead around the atriums above me. The stairs, however, are blocked off with some sort of barricade. What happened here? Around me, there appears to be furniture covered in white blankets. And beyond that, standing beside the walls, are a large array of bookcases. I look to the ceiling and imagine a chandelier. However, there is no chandelier. Instead, there is some brass mechanism above me. A mechanism, a clock of some sort. In the middle of the mechanism appears to be 5 metal balls. I feel my bones quake. I am still not warm. The broken windows have allowed this once beautiful mansion to become a mausoleum of cold. I look down at the table in front of me again. My eyes glance to the second switch, and I switch it. I hear a sound erupt around me. The lights change. The lights that were previously on desist, and the old gas lights behind them are brought to life. The sound above me is deafening. I feel every bone in my body shudder.
Can anybody hear me?
I am almost paralyzed with fear. And then I hear it. The clockwork. The ticking. The ticking. The ticking. The fucking ticking. And then the white sheets that I thought were furniture begin to move. The sheets shudder, and they move towards me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what this is. I look around me for an escape, but I find none. And they move closer and closer to me. I scream at them to desist.
What is this?
I scream at the house to desist.
Who is doing this?
But it does not. They keep coming. I look around me for something to push them back, but I find nothing. Suddenly my eyes are drawn to a broken window where a branch has broken through. I wonder if I can dislodge the branch. I try and I try, but I cannot. And then I see it. On the floor. A gun wrapped in a skeletal arm. I pick the gun up. I've never shot a gun in my life. But I aim it at the sheets and I pull the trigger. Again and again I shoot it. And one by one they stop. My gun runs out of bullets, and one sheet is still moving towards me. It moves slowly. I have time to watch it. All I can hear is clockwork all around me. From under the sheet, from above me, clockwork everywhere. Cogs whirring everywhere. What are these entities in front of me? Suddenly I find myself charging the sheet, and these hands that feel like they're made of glass, punching and jabbing and pushing and shoving, until suddenly the sheet falls and I fall with it. As I hit the ground, I no longer hear the whirring. The mechanics around me have stopped. I notice that the lights have changed back to the auxiliary lights. Above me, I hear a clink. I look up, and I see a metallic ball rolling down a track that appears to lead into the room next to me. The ball is slow, it looks heavy. I just do not understand. I then look to the door to that room. It is now open. However, I remember it closed. Every sense in my being is telling me not to follow the ball above me. However, I follow it to the threshold of the door and I peer through. My gas lantern is weak. However, it appears to lead to a long hallway with pictures either side. I cannot see the end of the hallway from here. My mind adjusts. I'm now, however, being drawn to move up the stairs. So I move back into the grand hall, and I move towards the barricade. Piece by piece, I start dismantling the barricade in front of me, until I can clear some space to walk. Suddenly, I hear something. A song playing in the distance. Something I've never heard before. However, I can't tell which room it is coming from. so I start to move up the stairs. The stairs are made of stone with iron banisters. This mansion must have belonged to someone extremely wealthy. At the top of the stairs, there is a large window. I peer out. Through the darkness, it's hard to make out what I see. However, I see a garden of sorts. At the end of the garden, I see a tree with what looks like 3. A door slams near my right, so I turn around. Yet I see nothing. Every door on the upper floor is shut, and I never noticed one open.
Who is there?
At this point, I'm not sure if I'm inquisitive or terrified, but I start to move down the stairs, back to the long hallway. I stand at the entrance to the door, and I notice that the song is coming from down the hallway, and I move forward. The hallway is incredibly narrow, 2 people could not pass, and then I hear the music stop. And then my world ends. The entire hallway is a trapdoor, and the floor splits. I'm falling. I lie, motionless. The fall winded me, however, I feel no pain. I feel warm. And then I hear it. Click, 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 click. As I stand up, I realize I am in an enormous chasm, with 1 door in front of me, 1 door behind me, 1 door to my right, and 1 door to my left. Each door has a colored light above it. Then I hear the noises. I hear groaning. I smell the stench of death around me. I have no idea what to do, so I run. I run for the door in front of me. It has a yellow light above it. I run, and I run, and I run, but I'm too late. Through the darkness, I see the withered bodies of men running at me. They are fast. They are clumsy. And they are on me. I feel them tear the flesh from my body. I feel their rotten fingernails stabbing and slicing through my ribs. I feel them dismember me limb by limb. At this juncture, I have no idea how I'm able to recount this story. I can only see black. However, I can tell you that I visited the mansion 3 times to 3